Are you ready to stop the self-sabotage and create the life you desire? Well, in order for that to happen, you need to break free from the bad beliefs that are holding your success hostage. You need to optimize the stress by turning it into extra energy for success. And those hurtful habits? Well, we need to give that pain a purpose for progress. Welcome to Stop the Self-Sabotage and Create the Life You Desire podcast. So, which one of these do you think maybe you have experienced a little bit more frequently in the last few days or maybe even the last few weeks? Out of the four, the first one is you've experienced some people making snide, snarky, maybe even some nasty comments to you. And you've decided you're going to take the high road and you're not going to respond. But is it really the high road when you don't know how to draw healthy boundaries that protect yourself? Or could it be that you got passed over for something, passed over for a promotion, you didn't get invited to an event, you got left out? And you decided, well, there's nothing I can do except to improve me. That if I change me, things around me will change. Well, is that the truth, or is it the truth that you're not expressing your expectations to others and saying, hey, you know what, we've got something shared here. I thought we were going to be able to work together on it. But instead, you dim down your light in the relationship and make it all about you trying to do it all for everybody. Could have been a significant relationship has gone south. There were things that were done that violated values. It could have been with your significant other. It could have been with older children in the home, maybe a close friend. And you throw a fit. Gosh darn it, you're just not going to put up with this anymore. Okay, and things change for a bit, but change does not last. So then you wind up backsliding into previous patterns that everything builds up until it blows up again. And then you get change, but only for a while. And then the last one, absolutely overwhelmed by everything that you have to do for those you care about, for yourself, and you can't do it all. So you compromise. You say, all right, yeah, this is going to have to get left off. But you're compromising in a way that costs you. And it wakes you up in the middle of the night because you know something isn't right. Okay, so welcome to our Take 10 minutes to go to the top in what area of your life that you want to improve the quality on. And today it's Allow Me to Disappoint You, aka how to begin to break free from your conditioning to be a people pleaser. Now, if you've joined live, you got the ability to ask questions. If you're joining me on the podcast, well, then you need to go over to the website, drewdawnferguson.com, so I can send you out the updates on when we're going to do this live, so you too have the ability to ask questions. All right. The very first thing I want you to know on this is it's not your fault. You were taught to overcompensate for others as you were growing up. In fact, it is said 80% of who you are as an adult was accepted by age 8. So it wasn't based on the fact that you were brilliant as a child. It was what others around you needed you to be for them to be okay, not to bring you out at your best. So you've been taught to overcompensate, and it's what's known as the core 4. There are 4 core ways of overcompensation. And then after that, you will keep with that overcompensation because you're getting something out of it. Even though it's dysfunctional, you have still learned to settle for being less than your best because the part of your mind known as the subconscious, which runs all of your habits and patterns, hasn't been conditioned how to get your needs met in a way that brings out your brilliance. Okay, so let's talk about the core four. And without this, you cannot break the bad habit of people pleasing. So the core four is, this is how I soothe myself. So you will people please, like I was talking about, taking that high road. And when people make snarky comments instead of drawing healthy boundaries. So taking the high road feels good, but it doesn't do anything to say, this is my worth. And I understand people have their opinions, but when it comes to me and my value, it's non-negotiable. So the snarky comments will receive a rebuttal. Then you have, this is how I avoid confrontation. I understand the self-help industry telling people, oh, you need to upgrade you. It's all about you, because that's where the power starts. But it extends beyond us. And if you do not know how to hold others accountable for valuing your brilliance or finding others who will, then you are going to hit a high level of frustration again and again and again, because what's going to happen is you've upgraded, but you're still in the same situation because you don't want to confront the fact that the people who are around you may not be able to grow with you. Then the third way is, this is how I get attention. Remember whenever I talked about throwing the fit, where things will change for a bit, but then you're going to backslide into previous patterns? You were conditioned by watching others. This is how they got attention. This is how they got someone to notice them and say, all right, we'll see about what we can do. But it's only for the moment. It's not long term. And then the last one is, this is how I connect. When you get overwhelmed by everything that needs to be done and you compromise in a way that costs you because it's not living out your values, that then will showcase your brilliance and that will benefit everybody around you. No, you've been taught to hold yourself back so others can be okay about the fact that they're stuck and struggling. Out of the core four, you were taught to experience one of these again and again and again. So it doesn't matter what area of your life, finances, your health, your relationships, your career, taking that next step for the dream that you desire, you will pervert your progress down to your past pain with your conditioning because of this emotional wound. But now it goes farther than that. Now we're looking at why you continue to do it. And it's what I call the 5 to buy. To buy into a habit or pattern past the age of 13, it's going to meet at least 3 of these criteria. The first one is status. Are you up or are you down? Oh, when you take the high road, that's increased your status. Of course, it's in a way where others are going to continue to use you as a doormat, but for the moment, you feel like things are better. Then there's control. You get to do something, and then you can anticipate the outcome of what someone else is going to do as a reaction to you. So by continuing to play the victim, you can actually transfer over into being a bully because you know that you can guilt people in to taking certain actions. Then there is autonomy, independence. Hey, no one's going to tell me what to do. Well, your bad habits are actually giving you a level of independence. How is that? Because they separate you from the person who's inflicting the pain. that they're a smoke screen. So when you overcompensate for somebody, you're going to have to do something for you to make you feel better. And that's when the overeating, the gossiping, the bitching, moaning, whining, and complaining, the smoking, the drinking, the too much internet, too much of anything shows up. Because you got to do something to try to get your power back, even though it's in a dysfunctional way. Then relationships. You've been taught when you buy into a bad habit that don't rock the boat. You've got this small circle. Don't do anything to upset what's going on in that circle. Maintain the status quo. And then the last one is trust. Now, what does trust have to do with you buying into a bad habit of overcompensating to for people pleasing? You trust your conditioning more than you trust the call of your spirit saying that there's something else out there for you to do. Now, most people struggle with being able to break free from this once and for all, and taking that area of their life, that dream they have, into reality, because of one of two things. Number one, you have been conditioned to solve it on your own. So you're going to take a book, or you're going to watch a video, or listen to a podcast to where, you know what, I can do this. Here's the challenge. The problem is based on social conditioning from someone, which means the solution is also going to be predicated on a social upgrade. Someone else or a group of someone else's is going to need to be involved. Somebody that is not going to hold you accountable. Accountability partners suck, because they got their own pain. And so when you don't want to do something, you're going to trigger their pain, and they're going to give you excuses of why not to follow through. Instead, you want progress. And that leads us to number two. You'll get in a group that looks for incremental improvements, because don't rock that status quo too much, instead of leaps into success. I'm going to give you an example of that. Many years ago, I was in a coaching group, and one of the suggestions given by the leader was, let's wear a rubber band around our wrist, and anytime we say something negative, we pop it. Are you freaking kidding me? I wanted to double my monthly income. I wanted to have a fitness level that was going to take me to the peak on my mountain hikes. I wanted a relationship where I was feeling swept off my feet. I wanted a career where my brilliance could be showcased. And then I wanted to see what was next. And I'm sorry, snapping rubber bands on the wrist ain't gonna do it. So I'm going to give you three options here. The first option is leap into success. Work with me in a group of other peak performers, where we're going to be looking at what you need to experience that puts you into an identity upgrade where success is lasting. So working in the group, working with me privately. You can find the information out on that at drewdawnferguson.com/WFW. But we've only got a few weeks before this starts. The second option I'm going to give you is to do that and get paid to do it. Do what I do for a living. Become a certified hypnotist, where I'm going to teach you RRH, Rapid Results Hypnosis. What is that? That's where, whether you're using formal hypnosis in a session or conversational hypnosis, just like what I've been using, you're going to be able to help people experience rapid upgrades in their identity. Now, you want to find out how to do that? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. First, go to drewdawnferguson.com/WFW. Stands for Wealth from Within. And see all those bonuses. Then go over to isch4u.com. because besides everything you see on that page, I'm going to add in the entire Wealth from Within program for you. But it is only for a few limited people. I've only got a couple of spaces left to be able to do that. And then I'm going to give you a third option. Don't do anything. Continue to take the free stuff, watch the videos, listen to the podcasts, but keep this in mind. You attract what you are, not what you want. So if you're always looking for free, someone's going to be looking for free from you. Don't you think instead it's time for you to turn on your brilliance and design the life that you want to live? Got questions on this? Reach out to me direct, 636-699-7791. Remember, people pleasing is conditioning. Take this same conditioning and use it to turn on your wealth. Bye now.